Morning. You'll never guess what this video is about. Yeah, space engineers again. And it's another ship build video. I'm not actually building the ship. I've already built it quite a long time ago, actually. This is the DSMV Hammerhead. There's a bunch of initials after it, but basically it's a multi-purpose cargo vessel. For a sense of scale, if you were around for my video with the Clydesdale, a maintenance vessel, it's quite, geez, I didn't realize how loud that thing was. It's quite a bit thicker than the Clydesdale. A little bit shorter. Clydesdale's got a bit more of a Batmobile look to it. But anywho, the ship is slightly unconventional, aside from the fact that it's a bit strange looking, but that's where I got the Hammerhead name. Here's a nice front view. That cube on the bottom is not part of it. It's in its landing configuration right now. So the landing gear's down. Those fold up. But anyway, here's the front. Basic, some antennas, reverse thrust, some lateral thrust. Spotlights so I can see what's going on. Here is a cargo port. That's how you do your fuel and refuel and cargo exchange. Internally, it's got one large cargo container and just a couple small ones. It's not intended to carry cargo internally. This is the underside, all kinds of lift. This here is how it's meant to carry cargo. Now this is a modular habitat that I built that fits nicely inside. You just get nice and close to the ground, drop it down somewhere flat like a lake, and there you go. But yeah, up in here got some wheels. It rolls up nice and smooth, doesn't bang into too much. Worst comes to worst, I've got some nice heavy armor here. Tucks up in here. Got some tires for it to, bang up against some landing gear to clamp it down. Somewhere in here I've got cameras, so you can look and see if everything's clamped down, make sure it's alright. Plus you can look in from the outside. This space here, if I remember correctly, will hold a 2x3 of the industrial large cargo containers, and you can bring it down at least 2 stacks, maybe 3, and still have clearance to land. So I would say 6 large cargo containers in a nice bunch would fit in here, and you'd be able to land depending on your weight. There's tables and equations out there that'll tell you how much lift 6, 8 large thrusters and 12 small thrusters will give you hydrogen. You can do the math. I'll sit down once I'm inside, and you can see how heavy the ship is with nothing on it. This is the underside, obviously. The unusual thing about this ship, besides its modular cargo carrying, you have to excuse me if I drift. I have some stick drift. Picked it up playing Helldivers. Too much running around. So underneath we have here, those are the warp drives. You can nice and see if they're ready to be used or not. Here you can peek in, have a look at the landing gear, make sure it's all locked down nice and tight. But underslung here is the cockpit. So rather than being on top like that thing is, this one has a cockpit down underneath. It does get obscured by the cargo if it's sticking down, but there's cameras in the front of the ship for flying through space, plus obviously third-person camera in this game. But this is obviously designed so that you can keep an eye on what you're doing when you're dropping off and picking up cargo. And accessible from the ground, you'd be walking underneath, you might be, I don't know, this far underneath of it, is the interior access. You can reach this ladder from the ground, and gravity doesn't start until just inside the door. Alright, deck 1, yeah, stick drift is annoying. I wish they'd fix that, generally speaking, in control room manufacturing. In here, first floor, deck 1, we have pilot seat, technically right here. so you can see what you're doing, and co-pilot seat. Now you can also fly the ship from there if you want. It's a lot more comfortable than standing for hours on end, right? So this old girl weighs 5.7 million kg. So that'll tell you how much extra thrust you have for taking off if you pay attention to how many thrusters we had. Anyway, I'm going to pop her into third person here. We'll fold up the landing gear. It's nothing special. Very simple. Simple works. Ain't broken. Now, how does this... Oh. Oh. Well, yeah. Off. Yeah, there we go. I always lock the rotor heads and sometimes maybe even turn them off because any extra torque, if they're trying to move while they're locked, can actually slowly start rotating your ship in space without you wanting it to. So there she is in folded up flying configuration. I'm not going to drift into a gravity well, am I? Lots of downward acceleration, obviously not a whole lot of upwards acceleration, or downwards, you know what I mean. It doesn't need to accelerate that way quickly. Alright, let's go do the rest of the ship. Jesus, it's loud in here. Sure as hell ain't a luxury vessel, I'll tell you that much. Like, keep going here, and when you get to the white section, that's habitation. So in here we have the living quarters. There's a little window out for the sake of sanity. I don't know what's going on with that, but you know, like I said, textures are weird. TV, nice little couch, kitchen, somewhere to eat. Survival kit, of course. Somewhere to poop, of course. And down here, 2 living quarters. I made these before the latest decorative blocks came. This ship before the last batch of decorative blocks came out, so you know, it's a lower model. It's a more basic work model vehicle. It doesn't come with all the fancy dressings. Textures on these are messed up too. They're supposed to be like neon blocks or something, but they never really quite render in right. Right in here, for the sake of speed, I'll use my jetpack. Red is, whoop, danger, maintenance kind of area. Alright, generally speaking, if you open a red door, you're risking depressurization, so be careful. Red, bad. Anyway, in here, bunch of batteries, air vents, generators, grav. Up here, sealed room. There's a reason for that, because there's no atmosphere out here. So out here we just have some Jeffries tubes. Don't worry, that's not a hole, it's a window. Yeah. I can't remember exactly what I built these for. And I forgot how slow crawling is in this game. I think this just leads to a reactor or something. I'm not entirely certain. I know I put them here because I wanted to access whatever was at the end of this tunnel. Oh yeah, that's right. I segregated the hydrogen tanks. So I have 3 large industrial hydrogen tanks and 28 small ones. So if you want to make this into a fuel tanker, you can carry a fair bit. Mostly I wanted the extra fuel because you're going to need to spend time maneuvering in order to pick up any cargo in the cargo hold, right? You want to have time down there and be careful and use finesse to pick it up without smashing everything to bits. And you don't want to be looking at the clock counting down how much hydrogen you got left while you're doing it. So you've got a couple of minutes of playing around. I don't know how long exactly, but... I really hate stick drift. Always happens too. Last time I got a controller into bed, stick drift, I was playing, what, Destiny 2. That's another game with a lot of running around and clicking the left stick repeatedly while trying to turn directions, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because it clicked funny. And then ever since then, yesterday, it's been wanting to go left. Okay, it's alright for now. Yeah, and in here, another little airlock. And this is just a Jeffries tube that goes to the back end of the large hydrogen engines, so you can repair them if need be while underway. I can't remember how to put that away. What's happening? Oh, yeah, no, that's not how, apparently. There we go. Gravity is broken, apparently. Oh, I see, I was stuck in that thing. And stick drift is appalling. So I accidentally depressurized this, but that's okay. I've got lots of stored oxygen on board. And, yeah, that's it. That's the Hammerhead. Multi-purpose cargo vessel. Oh, also, I turned the gravity in here is only a half a G, so you can make this drop without hurting yourself, which is great if you need to get out in a hurry or jump in the cockpit because you forgot to stop before going to sleep. I don't know, whatever. See, that's why people make automatic airlocks. Because idiots like me depressurize the whole ship on a regular basis. Well, that section of the ship anyway. Alright, there you go. She's kind of got a charm all of her own, even though she's not technically what you would call a pretty ship. I've got the Warfare 2 DLC Editions mod, which gives you beautiful things like a Sea Whiz turret, and if you're any kind of a military nerd or a gun nut or whatever, you know exactly what a Sea Whiz is and why they're so much fun. If you don't, try the mod out, you'll like it. It also comes with these fancy-dancy, fully automated, not automatic, fully automated railgun turrets, 2 kilometer range, which is considerably farther than the AI control block range, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I don't use them a whole hell of a lot because I don't need them. That thing's just as functional without needing the extra blocks, or PCU for that matter. There you go. Available on mod.io if you want it. Go nuts, have fun with it.